Hello, welcome to a new episode. In this episode we will make a photo study in color. I have an image open in Photoshop. It's an image I took on one of my trips. It's my own image, so I don't have to worry about any copyrights, so I'm free to adjust it. So let's make a new document with them next to each other or underneath each other. Like this. So in this photo study I want to get the exact or almost the same colors down in my photo study. But I'm going to take the liberty to change the canvas a bit and have some own creativity going on. It's not about copying every part of the image or the photo one-on-one. We're trying to understand why, for example, this shadow has some blue in it, why do I have a reflection over here, and so on. First thing first is always block in the big shapes. I'm not going to color pick the colors from the reference image. I'm going to try to see the correct colors and then color pick them on my color wheel right over here. I'm going to paint everything on one layer. I'll use a bigger brush like this. At first I want to get rid of the white. So maybe I can fill it first. Zoom out a bit. While I'll fill in the big shapes of color, I'm thinking about the local colors. So I see a sort of brownish, grayish, greenish mountain range. So I'll fill that one in first. Use some pen pressure. Photoshop is getting quite laggy, so if you want to check, probably it's because the document is too big. So what I can do is go to image size, and have a look at the pixels here. So probably I want to downscale it a bit. I think 2500 can work. And that's a bit better. So I'm just blocking in the shapes, blobs of color. And once I have enough colors in my own painting here, I can start color picking from that document or from within my own document. So I guess here I need more brown, yellow, because the light hits it, and then we get a more green bluish because of the sky being reflected in it. As you can see here, the shadows all have some blue value in it, or blue hue in it. That's because of the sky here. The sky is quite blue, so we have a main light source, which is the sun, as you can see over here, and the bright yellowish and greenish together with the trees hues, and then we have the darker shades of blue because of the blue sky being reflected in the shadows. So it's not only about copying the exact shapes and colors, but we were also trying to understand why something has that value or hue. So color we can define by hue, chroma, and value. So the hue is basically what color. Is it the blue? Is it the yellow? Is it red? And so on. The value is how bright is a color, how dark is a color, and the chroma is basically the intensity of the color of the hue here. So this will be high chroma and low chroma. I'm not going to look at details. What I want is some blobs of color, and then I can refine everything more. Like what would happen if, for example, right now we see one mountain range or hill, or different hills in the midground. What would happen if you want to add, for example, a second range over here and further away? Then everything would get lighter, less detail, less contrast. Maybe the edges would get softer. So you can pick a color, for example, make it a bit more blue or bluish in tone, make it a bit lighter. You can paint over here. To see different values, I squint your eyes a bit. You can see a light value here, here, and here, and also over here. So again, I don't want to get the exact shape, same shape here. I can base myself on it. Get some light here, over here. So here we get more of the blue of the sky for on top. Darker shades of green in the foreground. Some water. And at the point you can start color picking from your document, because you have most of the colors down already. You can still tweak it. You can still make something darker or lighter. Lighter values here. Trees. And because you start understanding why things are going to work like that. So why is this more, or this part of here, why does it looks a bit warmer than the shadow, for example? Because the sunlight hits it, it's a warm light, so my light masses will be a bit warmer, and then the shadow here will be a bit cooler because of the blue sky being reflected in it. As you can see me doing, I can just start adding my own interpretation of it. I can add a secondary hill, hills in the background, and then at the point it's just refining and refining more and more and more. Also working on one layer, I don't want to get distracted by different layers and then noticing I'm working on the wrong one. So I'll just keep everything on one layer. If you're working on one layer, you mimic a bit the traditional feeling. Also try to stay zoomed out and start zooming in. Maybe try to stay away from Ctrl Z. So no undos. If you make a mistake, just go over it. And if you work on one layer, most of the time it's a good idea to go from background to foreground. Because if you start in the foreground, for example, so here you can see me doing or not doing Ctrl Z. So just go over it. I get like a dark value here, that's nice. The thing is, if you place something in the foreground and it overlaps, for example, the background, it's a bit harder to still work on the background. So I'll give the background some more attention first and then work my way to the foreground. So I can make the shadow, for example, a bit cooler just by adding some blue in it. So add some more blue over here. The further I get near the background, the more blue I'm going to add. The lighter I'm going to go with my blues. The less saturated. And because of the atmospheric perspective, with different layers, the further we get. So those layers will start affecting your colors, your details, even your edges. Everything over here can be a bit softer, almost lost. The further I get in perspective, smaller I want to get the lines. So I hint perspective, and here I can make the lines a bit thicker. So I'm using a round brush. Basically, you can use whatever brush you want. But I think most of people or people that just start with digital painting and they like expect a magic brush that will make them paint better. But there isn't. What you should do is just work hard, make exercises like photo studies. Like I said, at the point you just start defining everything a bit more. There's nothing much that's going to change right now. Maybe I can get a better composition somewhat by changing some of the shapes here. So I want to make sure, for example, that they point more inwards. For example, this line over here, or the reflection of the water. So I get like this blue line and this one. The direction of the grass, maybe instead of making it straight going up, you can have it pointing inwards a bit. some lighter parts here maybe to make it pop a bit. So warm light. I have a clear sunny sky or sunny day, so I get a clear sky with blue in it, so I can make the shadows here a bit more blue, a bit more blue in it. So as you can see here, if I compare the greens, for example, I have the feeling that this green to the left is cooler than the one to the right. So maybe what we can do is have some kind of cast shadow in this left part here. So I can take my green, pull it more to the blues, so it gets cooler, maybe make it a bit darker, to make it even more cool, like that. So right now I have a very cool green to the left, and then I can make those greens here, for example, a bit warmer by dragging them more to the yellows, oranges, a bit lighter because they all are in the light mass. And right now I'm making them warmer. And so warm because we have the sunlight, and then the bluish cooler color here because we have a reflection of the sky. You can make like dark shapes and light shapes. And this edge here, where the shadow goes to the light, I want to make a bit more saturated, just to make it pop a bit more. And so I put the chroma up. Like this. The water is a bit see-through, so add some darker tones. Maybe I want to darken this part a bit so my eye doesn't get too distracted with it. The further something gets, the lighter it'll get here. So I'll make my cast shadows a bit lighter, and then over here they can be darker. So feel free to make your own Photostudy in color. Some important parts or pointers are that try to see the colors for yourself and don't color pick them from your reference image. Feel free to make changes to it and try to learn from the Photostudy. Why is something, or why has something more blue in it, or why does this color look cooler than or warmer than the other one? And it's a bit different than just copying one-on-one. I think everyone can copy one-on-one. You will learn more from it if you start making your own changes to it. Try to learn from it. The next part is sped up, just to show you can add more details if you want. So as always, feel free to upload your tryouts, your paintings on the weekly challenge Facebook group. Thank you for watching.